Joe, I wanted to ask you, so I'm glad we kind of talked about it when you were talking a little bit about how you had to adapt, right? Because you were getting bullied, you had to be tough, right? In order to kind of deal with them, right? And survive that. And that led you to boxing, because we
Yes,
talk a lot about having the right mindset in life, right?
yes.
And I just wanted to ask you, was there ever a moment when you were in a fight and maybe it was in between rounds, or maybe it was just before the fight? Were you ever like really, were you ever like troubled and had like negative thoughts, or thoughts of like, I can't do this, or, what if I get
Yeah,
knocked out? Like, talk us through an experience that you had where it was just a really physical challenge and also a mental challenge at the same time. I'm
every,
very curious.
every, every fighter, Danny, experiences fear. Every fighter. There's two spellings of the word fear.
Hmm.
The coward spells it, forget everything and run. The fighter spells it, face everything and rise. And
Yeah.
that's what fighters are. Fight boxers in particular, cage fighters, modern day gladiators. We overcome the fear. I used to be terrified. I remember my first professional fight. I was at the weigh-in and I'm looking around the room and there's five or six big guys with muscles and tattoos and hairy chests and mustaches. And I'm thinking to myself, these are mature, powerful men. I hope I'm not fighting this guy. Hope I'm not fighting that guy. Anyway, I went in to see the doctor. My heart was racing with fear.
Yeah.
This is just the weigh-in.
Wow.
And the doctor said to me, are you nervous, Joe? Stevie Wonder could see I was nervous. I was terrible. And I went, yes, doctor. I said, yes, doctor, I'm nervous. He said, well, I've just examined your opponent, Joe, and he's twice as nervous. And I was
Oh,
so
wow.
happy to hear them words. But if you watch a video, Champions Forever, five of the greatest heavyweight champions of all time, Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, George Foreman, Ken Norton, and Joe Frazier, talking about their life experiences in the boxing. And George Foreman, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, he's talking about when he boxed Ken Norton. He said, I'm standing in my corner. Ken Norton is standing in his corner. He said, I'm looking across. He said, at the finest specimen of a man, he said, I've ever seen. He said, he was chiseled. He said, I walked to the center of the ring. Ken walked to the center of the ring. He said, I eyeballed Ken. Ken eyeballed me. George said, I was so glad Ken didn't look down because my knees were shaking. And I thought to myself, if George
Wow.
Foreman, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, can admit he's scared, why can't I?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's no shame in saying you're scared. And fear, like I said, it spurs you on. It makes you train a little bit harder.
Hmm.
It's a driving force to get in. And once the bell goes, the fear leaves you.
Yeah.
That first punch is thrown, the fear leaves you. When I made a comeback, I'd been out of the ring. I'd been out of the ring 12 years and I was broke. I hadn't any money. And I thought, what do I do? All I know how to do, my career had been cut short because of a car accident. And I was smashed up in a car accident. After one of my professional fights, I was badly, badly, badly injured. My leg, my shoulder, my jaw, and I finished my boxing career. But 12 years on, I was broke, and I thought, all I know how to do is fight. I've never gone cap in hand to anybody in my life. I didn't contact Mike for a handout. I didn't ask anybody for a handout. I'm a proud man.
Hmm.
And I thought, right, what do I do? I'll try and fight again. Anyway, I made the comeback. Had a write up in the Boxing News, which is the big magazine of boxing, and it said George Foreman made the comeback after 10 years. Big Joe Egan makes the comeback after 12 years out of the ring. To get mentioned in the same paragraph as George Foreman was such an honour for me. Anyway, I boxed in Dublin. I hoped to get over to America to box in America under one of Mike's undercards. And I thought if I have a comeback fight, if I box in the UK, people are going to compliment me the fact that I've climbed into the ring. But I thought if I box in Ireland, they'll tell me the truth if there's anything left. I was nearly 38 years of age,
Hmm.
well past my sell-by date. My brain was writing a check that I didn't think my body could cash, but I needed the money. So I had to
Wow.
fight. Have to is a horrible master. Anyway, I boxed and I'm sitting in the dressing room. I'm getting bandaged up. getting examined by the doctor and then examined by the boxing officials. They examined my hands. I'm nice and relaxed. I'm comfortable. And then they said, glove up, Joe. I've gloved up. And they said, make your way to the ring. And I forgot what that fear was like. 12 years out of the ring, I forgot what that fear was like. Suddenly the fear kicked in. And I had to make my way from the dressing room in the Burlington Hotel where I boxed as an amateur, So I knew my way from the dressing room into the auditorium, into the big hall where I was going to box. And I walked into the auditorium. I could hear the music playing. I walked past the steps up to the ring and I walked towards the exit.
Oh man.
And honest to God, I'm not ashamed to say it. The
Yeah.
fear, the fear was carrying me with my legs out of the building. I
Yeah.
wanted to walk. My mother lived 15, 20 minutes from that hotel. I didn't want to be there. And I was walking towards the exit door when a couple of people in the audience tapped me. And I went, what? They said, Joe, you're walking away from the ring. You've got to climb the steps, get in and fight. And I went, oh, yeah. I had to turn back. It was on Irish television. I had to turn back and walk to the ring again from the other side of the arena. See, if them guys hadn't tapped me, I'd have
Oh
walked out the
man.
exit doors with my boxing gloves on. I'd have been at my mother's
And
front
your
door.
robe.
Let me in, let me in. Anyway,
It's hilarious.
I got into the ring and I fought and I won in the fifth round. And it was, I needed the money, like I said. It was a win. I finished my career on a win because that turned out to be my last fight.